big non-obly head and that blank overbecked fistula expression, Machinski scapoloporos, Dodinascu, or other. Your bachelor's mutton legs get muscled down from being too full. Noah Beery weighed stone 1001 when Hazel was ahead. Now her fat's falling fast. Therefore, chat bags, why not yours? There are 29 sweet reasons why blossom time's the best. Elders fall for green almonds when they're raised on bruised stone-root ginger, though it winters on their heads as if autumn round their waistbands. If you'd had pains in your hairs, you wouldn't look so orgy-bald. You'd have column affairs on your lump of lead. Now listen, Mr. Lear, and stow that sweaty funny Adam's simper. Take an old geezer who calls on his skirt. Note his sleek hair, so elegant, tableau vivant. He vows her to be his own honey lamb, swears they will be papa pals by Sam, and share good times way down west in a guaranteed happy love nest, when May moon she shines, and they twinkle all the night, combing the comet's tail upright and shooting pop guns at the stars. Cream puffs all the time, every nice Missy Mackenzie. For dear old grandpapa, he's gone on the razzle-dazzle through gazing and crazing and blazing at the stars. Compris? She wants her wardrobe to hear from above by return with cash, so as she can buy her Peter Robinson trousseau and cut a dash with Archie, Bert, or possibly Charlie Chance, who knows? So tolol, Mr. Hunker, you're too dada for me to dance, so off she goes. And that's how half the girls in town has got their bottom drawers, while Grandpapa is trying to hitch his braces onto his trousers. But old Grummy's not so clean dippy between sweet you and yum. Not on your life, boy, not in those trousers, not by a large jugful. For someplace on the sly, where Furficky isn't by, old Grum has his gal number 2, brave Bow our Grum. And he would like to canoodle her too some part of the time, for he is downright fond of his number 1, but oh, he's fair mashed on Peaches number 2. So that if he could only canoodle the 2, shivee, shivoo, all 3 would feel genuinely happy. It's as simple as ABC. The 2 mixers we mean, with their cherry bomb chatty, for he is simply shamming dippy. If they all were afloat in a dream lifeboat, hugging 2 by 2 in his zoodie-doo, a tough puff for thee, missy for me, and how came you in so for father, in his tippy, up and down dippy, tip-top tippy canoodle can you? Tinny. Ack. With which, clap and sodden and 3 to elope our mutual friends, the fender and the bottle of the gate, seem to be implicitly in the same bateau, so to sing it. Bearing also several of the earmarks of design, for there is in fact no use in putting a tooth in a snipery of that sort. And the amount of all those sort of things which has been going on once a day in and twice a day out, every other nacht is tack, among all kinds of promiscuous individuals at all ages in private homes and rebus publicis, and all over all and elsewhere throughout secular sequence, the country over and over abroad, has been particularly stupendous. To be continued. Federals United Transport Unions for exaltations of triumphant ecstasy. But resuming inquiries. Will it ever be next morning the Postal Unionists, officially called Carriers Letters Stock Limited, strange fate, fierce and giddy X's height, B.E., the lozol that hucks around Mrs. Maid's gummy backs, to hand in a huge chain envelope, written in 7 diverse stages of ink, from Blanche Essence to Lavendayette, every pothook and pan crook bespeaking the wisher wife, superscribed and subpenciled by yours a laughable party with Arthur Wright, S.A.G., to Hyde and Cheek, Edenberry, Dublin, W.C.? Will whatever will be written in lavish language, with inbursts of Magyar, always seem semposed, black-looking white and white guarding black, in that siamixed to a talk, used, twist, stern, swift, and jolly Roger? Will it bright upon us, Nightle, as we plunge into our plight? Well, it might now, Myrtle, so it light. Always and ever, till Cox's wife, twice Mrs. Hearn, pokes her beak into the matter, with O&K after her, to see what was smutter after. Will this kiribis pouch, filled with literish fragments, lurk dormant in the paunch of that half-brother of a herm, a pillar box? The coffin, a triumph of the illusionist art, at first blench naturally taken for a hand hop, it is hand walk to distinguish Jubei from Jabul or either from to both when all 3 have just been in vain, had been removed from the hardware premises of Utzman and Nephew, a noted house of the Gunmost West, which, in the natural course of all things, continues to supply funeral requisites of every needed description. Why needed, though? Indeed needed. Wouldn't you feel like rat and fowl if you hadn't the Oscar? Because the flash brides or bride and their lily boleros one games with at the nibby noobies finery ball, and your upright grooms that always come right up with you, and by jingo when they do, what else in this mortal world, now ours, when meet their night, mid their nacht, me their naked, made their naught the hour strikes, would bring them, right came back in the flesh, thumbs down to their horses and their fashes. To proceed. We might leave that nitrients of oxygiants to take its free of the air, and just unelectrolyze that very chimerical combination, the gas bag where the boy works, and try to pour some more hydrocene up the almost flare. In the bottled Helios case, continuing, Long Lally Todkids, the special, sporting a fine breast of medals, and the conscientious scripture reader to boot in the Brickentin church round the coroner, swore like a Norwegian tailor on the stand before the proper functionary that he was up against a right queer snort of a man in the Butcher of the Blues, who, he continued, on last evening, after delivering some carcasses, mat and cheps and meat shoots on behalf of Messrs. Otto Sands and Eastman, Limerick, Vidlers, went and, with his unmitigated astonishment, kicked at the Dollendorus against all the room. And when challenged about the pretended kick, it was kick up and down with him. On his solemn by the imputed said simply, "I a pop pie out, Phillips, Captain." "You did, as I say stressed before. You are beaten in error, sir, Madam Tompkins. Let me then tell you," replied with a gentlewomanly salam McPartland, "the Meatman's family, and the oldest in the world except Nick, name." And Phelps was playful with his peeler, but his fizz fell. Now to the obverse. From velveteens to dimities is barely a 5-finger span, and hence these camelback excesses are thought to have been instigated by one or either of the causing causes of all, those rushy hollow heroines in their skirt sleeves, Vichy Magretta, Vichy the First. Oh, because it is a horrible thing to have to say today, but one Delilah, Lupita Lorette, shortly after, in a fit of the unexpectednesses, drank carbolic with all her dear placid life before her and tailed off, while the other soiled dove, that's her sister-in-law, Lupercala Touche, finding one day while dodging chores that she stripped easily for binocular man, and that her jams were jib-joy to see each other, the naughty girl soon found her fruitful hat too small for her, and rapidly taking time, she rapidly took to necking, partying, and selling her spare favours in the haymow, or in lumber closets, or in the green awn ad hoc. There are certain intimacies in all ladies' lather stories we just lease to imagination, or in the sweet churchyard close itself for a bit of soft coal, or an array of thin trunks, serving whom, in fine, that same hot coney a la zingara, which our own little Grania of the chilly red cheeks dished up to the great sire of Oscar, that son of a cool, Houri of the coast of Emerald, Ara of the Lassessive Ogue, Aslim, all Muslim, resigned to her surrender. Did not she, come Leinster's even, true daughter of a Dearmont? Her pitch was 40 steps, and his perch old Cromwell's quarters. With so Valkyrie a license has sent many a poor pucker packing to perdition. Again and again, aye and again, sidare him. Tease Fido, tease Fido, tease Fido, two stopples, stop, doggerman, shower ye, and jealous me. And did not he, like Arco 40, far off Bisabolo, misbrand her behaviours with iridescent hue cry of downright mean false soft lapsic dope? Tottles dreck. A reign of the she-bean queen, a queen of pranks. A kingly man of royal mien, regally robed, exalted be his glory, so gay, so thick. Now, not now, he would just a min, suffering trumpet. He thought he want, what? Here, oh here, living of the land, hungry derry a he, eyes ravenous on her littling hills. He hear her voice of day gone by. He hears, zay, but by the beer of his prophet, he cannot answer. Up her potty to rise and shine. Nor needs none shaft, ne steely, from Phoenicia or Little Asia to Obelize on the spout. Neither pobble clock, neither folk stone, nor sunkenness in Tor's wood to bewray how her press gang score off the road. The mouth that tells not will ever attract the unthinking tongue, and so long as the obscene draws theirs which fear not, so long till all earth's domination shall the blind lead the deaf. Tatch or tawny yeeklings. The column of lumps lends the pattern of the leaves behind us. If violence to life, limb, and chattels, often as not, has been the expression, direct or through an agent male of woman here offended, has not levy of blackmail from the times the fairies were in it, and fame for wild earth blossoms, followed an impressive private reputation for whispered sins? Now, by memory inspired, turn wheel again to the hole of the wall, where giant Bliant fronts ta'en to a moor. There was once upon a wall, and a who wall was, and such a wall hole did exist. Ere or ire in Ireland, or you dares hair, or you dig in mosses, or your hoard of orts and oriots, to garble a garden of Odin, and the last holidays when all the Edams ended with Aves. Are men? The down is theirs, and still to see for Menags, if he strikes the Lousetrich, and we'll come to those bare gaze shoeshines, if you just should have a second, and let hogs be good old gaggles, and isteresta te yesterasta, in the drama of sore Stosteria's disease. Had bought and enlarged that shack on the fair rental of one yearling sheep, prime, value of sixpence, and one small yearling goat, cadet, value of eightpence, to grow old and fatty, hog it and kid him, for the remnants of his years. And when everything was got up for the purpose, he put an applegate on the place, by no means as some pretext, a bedstead in lieu thereof to keep out donkeys, the pig dirt hanging from the jags to this hour makes that clear, and just then about the iron gate, by old custom left open, to prevent the cats from getting at the gout, was triple padlocked on him, on purpose, by his faithful porters, to keep him inside probably, and possibly an aunter he felt like sticking out his chest too far, and tempting gracious providence by a stroll on the peat-laid egg day, unused as he was yet to being freely clodded. Oh, by the by, lest we brag of praises, it ought to be always remembered in connection with what has gone before that there was a north rumour, her betreffender, out for his simmer Holdigs, digging in number 32 at the Rum and Puncheon branch of Dirty Dick's free house in Laxlip, where the sockeye salmons were stopping at the time, orange fasting. Prior to that, a commercial, gordo Paco, he was reeking like central oil rubber. From Ostery, the USE, paying, I'll save the mark, 11 shillings in the week, gosh, these holy romads, are conscience money, in the first deal of July, while he was swishing bees' nest with pleasure, and swabbing broken earish with Brocken Dooch, making his reportage under Paul Adams, for the Franco-Furto siding, a fastland periodicule, and Ercon stated that one had on him the Lynn O'Brien, a melt-toned lambswaller, disturbed, and wider he might the same Zurich chicken aber he would, with thousand and over thousand ton of waters, one monkey's damages become. Now you must know, Frank's man, to make a heart of glass, that the game of gaze and bandstand butchery was merely a patio-scrap tissue of threats and of uses, such as Roebuck's Raw at Pinnacle's Peak and after this sort. Humphrey's unsolicited visitor, Davy or Titus, on a Burgley's plan march from the Middle West, a heighty, excellent, crude man about road who knew his bull-foosed mountains like a starling beard. After doing a long dance untitled to Cloudy Green, deposing his box stump on the which you may want me, after having blew some Quakers, for you, oats, in through the house king's keyhole to attract attention, bleated through the gale outside, which the terror of his clothes was hog-collaring, first be the hirsute, that he would break his bullshy-wigger's head for him, next be the heel-tapper, that he would break the gauge over his lanky duckling head, the same way he would crack a nut with a monkey wrench, and last of all be the stir-abouter, that he would give him, his, or the umbrums, or anybody else's thicker than water to drink, and his bloody step-brothers into the bucket. He demanded more wood alcohol to pitch in with, alleging that his grandfather's was all taxes, and that it was only after 10 o'clock, and that this his bar was a public oven for the sake of Erskirskowski, and then, not easily discouraged, opened the wrath floods of his artillery and went on at a wicked rate, weathering against him in Mook's metaphors from 11:30 to 2 in the afternoon without even a luncheonette interval, for house, son of Claude, to come out, you Jew beggar, to be executed, amen. Erica, that pattern mind, that paradigmatica, recepto retentive as his of Dionysius, long-suffering, although whitening under restraint in the sitted-out corner of his conservatory, behind famine-built walls, his thermos flask and Raphidian flavel by his side, and a walrus whisker bristle for a tusk pick, compiled, while he mourned the flight of his wild guineas, a long list, now feared in part lost, to be kept on file of all abusive names he was called. We have been compelled to the rejoicement of Hoynoides, and of the humours of Milltown, etc., by Josephine Brewster in the collision known as contrastations with Inkerman, and so on, and so on, laces and Lou-Water Flea, Celestials, one clean turve. First nighter, informer, old fruit yellow wigger, wheat ears, Goldie Gate, bogside beauty, yes, we've had his bananas, York's porker, funny face, as Baggett's bend he bumped, grease with the butter, open door auspices, Cain enabler, Ireland's eighth wonderful wonder, beat my price, God's oil man, Moonface the murderer, hoary, hairy hoax, midnight sunburst, remove that Bible, hebdomadary publication, Tom of the Lane the tyrannous, Blau Clay, tight before tea time, read your panther joke, acoustic disturbance, thinks he's God blast the good Duke of our dial, W.D.'s Grace, gibbering Behemoth of Dublin, his father was Amon Suffer, and she had him in a growler, Vernon Bailey, artist, unworthy of the homely Protestant religion, Terry Cotter, you're welcome to Waterfood, signed to the ribbon men, Lobster Pot Lardling, all for Arthur of this town, whooshed the cat from the bacon, Leathertogs Donald, the ace and deuce of portering, O'Reilly's delights to kiss the man behind the bottle, Magog Agog, Swad Puddlefoot, Gouty Gibbeline, Loose Luther, Hatches Cock's eggs, Muddle the plan, Lock before wedlock, I divorced thee husband, Tanner and a Mick, go to Helena or come to Connie's, Piebald, puff his bride, purged out of books, is none of thee causing, barbarian, peculiar person, Grundhowl's factotum, 12 months aristocrat, lycanthrope, Flunky Beetle vamps the tune laying on his loney, Thunder and Turf married into Clandorf, Left boot sent on approval, Cumberer of Lord's holy ground, Storge Archman, Aunt Duke, Tommy Furlong's pet eggs, Archduke on Cavenger, last past the post. Canelli won't tell thee of Nancy's gown, Scuttle cover, salary grab, Andy McNoon in Annie's room, all out, Twitch scratch balls, Bombard Street Wester, Sublime Porter, a band for the King of the Burgons, and a bomb he sir of all the Rutledges. O'Phelan's cut price, and at number 111, what he done to Castle Costello. Sleeps with feathers and ropes. It is known who sold Horace the Rattler, enclosed find the sons of Fingal. Swayed in his falling, once a wife and 40 of them. Let him do the fair, a PG Quanny Chimmock. Clout goes his wassail, ruin of the small trader. He, blank, milking honey beaver brother. Thee with a business. Sour rates, Armenian atrocity, sick fish belly up, Edomite. Blank, man devoid of the common characteristics of an Irish nature. Bad Hamburg, crab, cuckoo handler, dirt, mitching daddy, bone burst feet foremost, Woolworth's worst, Asiatic philosophist, guilty pigs bastard, fast in the barrel, booze in the bed, Mr. Fatmate, in custody of the police, Gauls allocutionist, deposed.